What's up, guys? Mumford and the Kid here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? Your Alpha is here as always. How's everybody doing on their end? So I posted a poll here on YouTube, basically asking you, my pack, hey, which movie do you want to see first or the most? I think I said the most. I think it was the most. I posted the last 3 movies that I saw, and you guys, out of 41 votes, not bad, 46% of you chose Spider-Man Far From Home spoiler review over the 41% of TMNT versus Batman over the 15% of Godzilla King of Monsters. However, don't be alarmed, guys, my pack, because all those reviews will be up in the future. A lot of them, 2 of them actually, just need to do some more pre-editing and things like that out. Things I want to take out of, the video and things like that. But here today, we're here to talk about Spider-Man From Home. My boy, Spider-Man, my #1 favorite hero. Marvel MCU's last movie of the year. The MCU's final movie of Phase 3. The aftermath of Endgame. And was this a good aftermath? I say yes. Now, as you all know about my reviews, guys, I give you a little bit of the plot, favorite scenes, the performances, as well as some other good stuff. And maybe some hints and teasers and winks that maybe you guys didn't pick up on. But more importantly, this is going to be spoiler heavy. So, if you don't want to see this, stop this video right now. Go back, come back when you've seen it. Then hit that play button, because you're going to get your entertainment's worth. I promise you that. But if you don't care, you just want to hear what I think about this movie, no matter what, thank you. Come along. But in the meantime, I will give you a count of 10 seconds to end this. Stop this video right now with a countdown. So, let's get down with the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That must mean you're still here. Okay, so if you're still here, let's do this. You hit that play button, you're going to get your entertainment's worth. Okay, so this ends the Endgame. This is the aftermath. And young Mr. Tom Holland takes the reins once again in his next solo outing as the amazing, the sensational, the spectacular, all the adjectives you can think of Spider-Man. And I think he delivered very well on this. The series picks up, like I said, a couple of months or a couple of days or so, weeks after the death of Tony Stark. And throughout this whole movie, we are seeing the remnants of that. And also, we see tributes to them. The fallen, as we call. Now, the kids of Midtown High, they call what happened the blip. And we get to see what happened when the students came back. While others grew 5 years older, others are still 5 years younger. So some of them have to start the school year, or a lot of kids, Peter's classmates like Betty Brant, Ned, all of them have to start the school year over. I love Aunt May's advice of what happened to her. I thought that was really funny. She said, when I came back into my old apartment, which was occupied by another family, the wife of the husband that was in it thought Aunt May was his mistress. And I kid you not, I cracked up laughing, because the way Marissa Tomei delivered it was just so funny to me. I was like, okay, that was pretty funny. But we see that Peter is there, and he's in his Iron Spider armor, not his original armor. There's a lot of different plays on it. Like there is scenes where he is in his regular MCU spider costume, but here he's in his armor and he's very awkward. You can see Peter still has to get used to. He's not really too comfortable, even in his own skin, even as Spider-Man. That was one of the big main plays of this movie, is that Peter's still going on this journey of, he still is a teenager at heart, and that's something that has been captured very beautifully by the directors in this, is that he's still a teenager at heart. The same thing that Steve Ditko and Stan Lee did in that original run, those first 100 issues. Peter's still a teenager. He's still trying to do what teenagers do. He's got hormones. He's trying to get with MJ. He's got plans, everything like that. It looks like everything's going to work out. You know, he's got this whole planned out where I'm going to give this necklace of the Black Dahlia to MJ. As y'all know what the Black Dahlia is, it's a flower, but for MJ, this version of MJ is kind of like weird, and the murder. Remember the Black Dahlia, famous Black Dahlia murder? Yeah. Because they're going to Europe. Ned is all like, hey man, what about us being single? Yeah, and things like that, and it's coming on like, whoa, wait, you know, it's just the typical teenage stuff, and you really get into it. It really feels like that huge old school Howard Hughes like movies from the 80s. It was pictured beautifully in this. However, things don't turn out the way Peter wants it. That Parker luck. We all know that happens. And he is getting contacted by Nicholas J. Fury. And he's ghosting him. He's like, I don't want to speak to Nick Fury. I don't. And unfortunately, things go awry in Venice. And he is introduced to Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, Quentin Beck. And he was beautifully done. He performed so well in this. It was just like, finally, we get to see old Fishbowl Head. And I kid you not, seeing him, as I said in those reactions, seeing him in full Fishbowl, he looked beautiful. It was like, oh, that's so great. I hated the fact that I had two females next to me laughing at him with the fishbowl. I'm like, you see, that's where that geek in me comes out, and I just want to, like, don't laugh. Like, it's not funny. Stop laughing. You know what you gonna do. But yeah, he comes into contact with Mysterio, and Mysterio is facing this elemental who looks like Hydro Man, and he's wrecking havoc in Venice. And Peter does what he can to help. He has like an old Renaissance mask on to cover his face, playing up that whole aspect of keeping his identity secret, which I always love. I like the fact that Peter, as Spider-Man, his identity is not public. Having said that, finally he meets Nick because Nick comes to see him. And that's where the situation happens. He's introduced to Beck, and Beck tells him, I wish I had somebody on my Earth like you. And that's the whole concept of the whole multiverse. We're hearing, and Nick is like, yeah, Mr. Beck is from another Earth, just not our Earth. He says, you're from Earth 616. I'm from, I forget which number he said. I'm totally blanking out on the number right now. And Peter goes into geek mode, like, that's no hypothesis, no, this can't be true, blah, 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 blah. But all is still the concept of the movie throughout the whole thing. All this action, all this is that Peter still wants to be a teenager. He likes this girl. He likes MJ, played by Zendaya. And he wants to tell her how he feels. And every time he's trying to this happens and this happens, he's got a rival in the form of another student who didn't get blipped, but grew 5 years older, and he likes MJ too, and he's trying to get with her too, and it's like that love triangle, and you're just like, you want to root for the underdog no matter what. You're like, Pete, you gotta do it, right? Because that's how I was. I'm like, yo, Pete, put this fool in his place. Like, yo, get off of my woman. Like, go find somebody else. Ned ends up getting with Betty Brant, which is hilarious. Which is hilarious to begin with, but it was fun. It was cute. It was like, okay. But the action scenes in this was so good. I love the actions between Mysterio. And as a fan of Spider-Man, you're like, it's great, but any true Spider-Man fan know we don't trust Beck. We're liking this, but we don't trust him, right? Am I the only one that was like that? Like, I'm like, it's great, but come on, son. So yeah, the pacing of this movie was really, really well done. We get to see the students going from different cities in Europe and being in some of the, at first, when they were in Venice, they were in this crappy hotel. Then they get elevated to this very luxurious hotel when they go to Prague. I think it was Prague they went to. It was Prague. Thanks to Nick Fury. And Nick is still like just pushing Peter in the direction. Peter gets these glasses from Tony Stark that left him these glasses. He puts it on, and there's a AI in there called Edith, and Edith has control of drones and everything like that. And at one point, Peter even sicks drones on the chief rival to MJ, and it was like, what are you doing, Peter? Like, yo, I love that he punched Flash. You know, I still got to get used to this Flash. I still got to get used to this version of Flash because I'm not really used to him. And I'm cool with Zendaya as this version's MJ. There's different takes on the character. I get, but I'm okay with her. But the actor who's playing Flash, I'm not so okay. I'm still got to get used to her. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's not my Flash, because it's like when I look at this guy as Flash, and I'm forgetting the actor's name right now, and I see him calling Peter dickhead and all this other stuff, and I'm like, yo, secret identity, and no, I'm gonna put this fool in his place. I'm gonna tell Flash, hey Flash, can you follow me real quick? And yoke this fool. If you ever in your life call me that or try to disrespect me, you're gonna lose. That's just me. It just comes off like, Peter, put this fool in his place. That's how it is. And to see him hit Flash in one scene was just gave me a little satisfaction. But he's doing his role because it makes me not care for the character as much. And it makes me want to see him get his upcomings. So he's kind of doing his thing. But overall, the concept of Peter, like I said before, really kind of showcasing he doesn't want to do this. He's still trying to find a balance. Is played up very nicely in this movie. And Mysterio is doing all the things he can to make Peter feel like, I understand, Peter, what you're going through. I want to tell you to do this and do that, but this job that we do is kind of sacrifices. And you see Peter really kind of letting his defenses down, letting down his guard. He's finding somebody else that he can lean on with this lifestyle. This is why, in my feelings, that hopefully someday in the future we get to see someone like Daredevil, because I think Daredevil would be a very good, another big brother to Peter, as that somebody who's is going through this, trying to balance personal life and the life of a mass hero. I want that so badly. But as always, we see what Mysterio was really after. He gets those Edith glasses, and then the charade goes down. And beautifully done. I like the way they did Mysterio's illusions. It's tech. I'm cool with that. And we get to see more indication of who Quentin Beck is in this universe. He's basically a disgruntled former Stark Industries employee. When I saw that, guys, I was kind of like, I really wish that wasn't the case. You know, in some ways, I really wish that wasn't the case, but I understand. Remember those glasses? Remember that technology that we saw in Civil War that Tony was doing when he called it barf or whatever? Quentin invented that. And it's like, whoa, okay. And then we start to see others in his circle that are from the past of Tony Stark. And they all are basically, in a sense, in a basic sense, guys, they're butthurt. They're butthurt over the fact that Stark chose Peter kind of over them. And that's the reason. But the whole concept of Quentin is simple. He wants to be looked at as the hero. If people see him as the hero, perception. Played that word up a lot, perception. People see me, Mysterio, as the hero. I'm the Earth's savior. So he creates these elementals, these illusions of elementals, things like that. And it's played up beautifully because it also plays a simple fact of how they did Mysterio back in the 90s Spider-Man animated series. Remember how he came? He wanted to be looked like as a hero, but he also had anger towards Spider-Man. But it was still played up very well. And Jake Gyllenhaal just did his thing. It was so great to see him just really play this character. He had a little bit of a mad scientist, like, this guy, it was almost to the point, the way Gyllenhaal did it was almost like, if you just say the wrong words to this version of Quentin Beck, just the wrong words, to set him off. But when Peter gets the true 411 on him, thanks to MJ, showcasing that she is not as stupid, or just, she's very smart, because she figured Peter was Spider-Man, and it was cute. I liked it, and Peter knows, I gotta tell Nick Fury. I gotta tell them what's going on. I gotta confront Beck. And he gets all the way to Germany, and unfortunately Beck beats him there. And this is beautiful scene of just when Peter was facing Beck in like his illusions, I wanted to cry, because it was like, this is the stuff I was reading from the comics, man. It's like, oh my God, this is the illusions. Peter trying to figure out what's real, what's not real, and in all a sense, playing up, this is where truly he's got to use his spider sense. I will not call it that Peter whatever crap they were calling it, no way. And I was like, oh please. And to see Peter go through this, and to see, I'm rooting, I'm there with Pete, like my hands were shaking, and I'm just like, but the way they did the illusions in this was just so beautifully, so great. It was just like, this is classic Stan Lee, Steve Ditko stuff. Like, oh my God, it was so great. I loved it. I could not, I was like I wanted to scream, because it was just done so well. And seeing Pete get hit by that train, oh my God, that bullet train, I'm like, oh my God, how is he alive? How is he alive? How is he not coughing up blood? It's just like, it was very, very, it's like, we all the audience, when he got hit, we all went, oh, like, it was like, oh God. And I felt that. But I love the once again, the combination of Peter feeling, we all know Peter. He takes responsibility really serious. He takes that that level of this is my fault. I trusted this person. He's really putting that, as we all know, Peter puts that the weight of the world on him, and we saw that, and Tom Holland just beautifully captured that. And I love the fact that you see him like, you know what? I gotta man up. I gotta do this. And you see him creating a new suit. And it's just like, this is good stuff. And it's like, you don't want to see this guy leave as Spider-Man. That, personally, for me. But like I said, the plot really went really fast. This was not a long movie. So the pacing of the movie, there were some things cut out of this movie, so the pacing really had to speed up a little bit. But it worked. It worked. The action was great. And to see Peter fight Mysterio at the end one last time, and seeing him finally use his spider sense, really, the problem I have with him using his spider sense is this: I want some kind of sound effect. They got to put a sound effect that you kind of sense that he's using it, like it's activating. Like I just don't want him like, and that's it. But here it was, I accepted it. But in the next present, the whole hair standing on his arms, that's cool for a while, but you gotta have like some kind of that, like Sam Raimi's one had that, I forgot what they had in the Mark Webb version, Amazing Run, but there's got to be a sound for it. Like, it's just got to. Like, but I love how Peter deals with Quentin, and where he thinks he's won. I love how, he's like, why did you do this, blah, blah, blah. And Mysterio was not there, but he was point blank at his head with a gun, and Peter, pow! And just looks at him like, I got you. Like, you can't, your illusions don't work on me no more. So that was really good. And Peter saves the day. The action in London, because London was the final battle, was really cool. You see Happy saving the kids, and they're in the Tower of London, and they're fighting these drones, and MJ does his thing, and they kind of allude some secrets, which is really funny. Happy does have a crush, loves Aunt May, and it's things like that, and it was like, it was fun. But it ends, you would think it would end on a happy note. It ends on a good note. The hero saves the day, right? So the kids get back to New York, get back home. They're picked up at Newark Airport. And everything looks like everything's gonna be okay, right? Yeah, everything's cool. Pete's okay. The hero saves the day. Yeah. What happens next? MJ, you actually, what I did love is just seeing MJ and them kiss. Like, it was a little peck, but I'm like, oh, come on, you got to do better than that. Like, but I love that they're holding hands, and MJ admits, like, yeah, I wasn't just following you because I thought you were Spider-Man. Like, I do like you. It's the little kitty, like, the little teen love, like. Pretty was funny. Everybody's like, you guys make a real good couple. And Peter's like saying to Ned and Betty, like, hey, we could double date. And she's like, oh, we broke up. And I thought that was fun. But that's that teen love that I'm talking about. You're gonna see that kind of stuff. And I love the whole web slinging, thing with MJ. And Peter telling, and Mary Jane and Happy, like, yo, what's going on? We're gonna sit down and talk about it. Happy likes Aunt May. I can understand why. Marissa Tomei, she's fine. She's a fox. Come on. But Aunt May just sees it as a summer fling, and it's like, damn, like, oh, Happy, But we see MJ's like, yeah, let's go swinging. Now, in every other Spider-Man movie we see from the past, Mary Jane or Gwen, they loving the web slinging. You think, oh, that's typical. But here, this version of MJ, she's scared to death. You see her like, oh my God, like, oh, like, I like that. That was actually really good to showcase. Like, she's terrified. Like, like no, like it was funny. I thought that was cute. And at the end, we see they're on 34th, right by Madison Square Garden, and on the Titan there's like a billboard, and basically a big shocker revealed. One of the news witnesses says, "We're going to be joined by Daily Bugle's own editor-in-chief, J. Jonah Jameson." JJ makes his debut in the MCU, and it was like, I was like, okay, because my friend said, who saw an advanced screening of it, said that somebody from the Spider-Man universe makes his MCU debut, and I'm like, okay, who could it be? They show JJ, then they show JJ, and it's none other than Mr. J.K. Simmons himself reprising his role as JJ. And it comes off more like the J. Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man game. And he's got a different hairstyle, but he's like, yeah, we got footage of Spider-Man. He's the one that blew up the London Bridge and everything. We got of him killing Mysterio. And we see Mysterio, his final act, almost like my final victory. He tells the world that Spider-Man is the one that did this. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, he says, I even know who Spider-Man is. He's cuts off a one, and then he says, he's a kid named Peter Parker. Boom! Peter's face is all over and it's like, what the? And it ends. Peter's identity is revealed to the world. His identity is revealed. Let me repeat that for you once more. His identity is revealed. People now know who Spider-Man is. He had a few people in his circle that knew, namely 3 or 4. Now the world knows who Peter is. Peter is shocked. It ends kind of the same way the first Homecoming ended, with Aunt May seeing who he is. And now, what the hell? But that was just the mid-credit scene. The final credit scene is seeing Maria Hill and Nick Fury. And all of a sudden, there's scrolls from Captain Marvel. The same scrolls from Captain Marvel. Disguised as them, as Nick Fury and Maria Hill. And this was their job because they're working with Nick Fury. And I love the banter between them, because it was like, how could we not see through these illusions for shape-shifting aliens like us? We should be able to see through. It was hilarious, but I thought it was funny. So they contact Nick Fury and tell him everything, what's going on. And we see Nick is on a beach. He's on a beach. He's on vacation. Nick Fury on vacation. And he's like, we have some, and next you know, the screen pans out, and it's kind of like a digital green screen. The same thing like I'm using, but morely advanced. And you see Nick get up, he walks away, and he's on some kind of ship. You can see in the background there's scrolls in the back on work, and he's like, all right, people, let's get back to work. A lot of people are asking, what was that? Was this an implication that all along, since day one, Nick Fury, this Nick Fury and Maria have been Skrulls? I don't think so. I think this was just Nick wanting some vacation time, and so yeah. I don't think it was all the way up until now. I think it was just maybe after Endgame. You know, you get some, but you pick up on that Nick Fury is not Nick Fury. That was Nick Fury because when they meet Beck in the underground headquarters, he even says it. He says, "Your planet." That was indication right there for me that Nick Fury was. I'm like, your planet. Okay, I heard that. I don't think anybody else heard it, but I did. I heard it. Now, what does this mean? Nick Fury on a spaceship or something like that? You know what it is? This is my belief. This is my belief. This is my belief. We saw exactly what I predicted we were going to see after Endgame. The beginnings and the rebuilding, not rebuilding, but the building of S.W.O.R.D. Yup. That's what I saw. That's my take on it. Once I saw that, I'm like, S.W.O.R.D. Shield is gone. S.W.O.R.D. rises up now. Why wouldn't it be? We're seeing more. If the MCU said they're going to go more into doing more stuff out in space, why not have S.W.O.R.D.? S.W.O.R.D. is the version of Shield that deals with threats from space. Why not? And Shield and S.W.O.R.D. does have Skrulls as agents. Why not? Why not? That's my belief. Now, in terms of where this can go now for Spider-Man, this opens up so many doors and so many things now they can take. The identity stuff, I feel they went differently, but they kind of took from Civil War, where Peter revealed himself to the world and the consequences of that. We're going to probably see that. More importantly, where else could they go? Remember the story arc in the Amazing that ran through all 4 monthly Spider-Man titles? Identity Crisis, where Peter had to he had a bounty on his head and he had to go under disguise as 4 other heroes: Prodigy, Dusk, Ricochet, and Hornet. And later on, those identities were taken up by others and they became the Slingers. We could see that. Who this could bring into the fold of, hey, this could be an introduction of bringing in, some people say bringing in Norman Osborn. You know, this could bring in Kraven, the Hunter. Him hunting down this murderer. Not for the people, but for himself. Like, I'm the greatest hunter alive, and this challenge, you know, I'm just saying, there's certain aspects. There are a lot of things they can go out with this now, but now that Peter's identity, this puts Aunt May in danger, this puts MJ in danger, Ned, this puts so many people now in danger, especially those who knew who Peter was. And it's scary to think that. It's very scary to think that. And with that being said, the door is wide open. And I hope, we know Mr. Holland has one more movie left on his contract. Surely he's going to re-sign for more. Because I want to see Peter growth. I want to see him go from high school, college, bam, adult. And if that means, okay, we'll do Tom a little bit more, and then you cast an older actor as older Peter, that's fine. I'll accept that. But let's see growth with Peter. Don't just take him out because his contract. I don't buy this whole factor that he wants to stop being Spider-Man. I don't. The movie was great. The movie was great. I loved it. It just made me just showcase more and more why Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man to date. He has everything you want and more with Spider-Man. I said it before. Tobey Maguire, you set the foundation, sir. But you weren't the best Spider-Man. You weren't even the best Peter Parker. You set that foundation. Thank you. Andrew Garfield, you were just Spider-Man the wrong time. That's all it was. You weren't that, but you were a bad Peter Parker though. You were too much of a douche, a dick as Peter Parker. But Spider-Man, you were great. And it was the little things that I love. You played off that New York accent that I wanted to hear. As a New Yorker myself, you want to hear that. You're like, yo, he's a New Yorker. Like, let's hear that. Tom Holland, you hear it a little bit too. It's like, it's the little things that matter. But the movie was great. If I was giving this a rating, ten out of 10 web shooters. Great movie. Good movie. Good end to phase 3. And hopefully soon we will see what phase 4 will deliver for us. But those are my indication of where they can go. I'll go into more detail about where they can go more with the whole identity now being public. But also, that's what I'm thinking of what is going on with Nick Fury. We saw the building of SWORD. And if you don't know what the acronyms for SWORD is, look it up, because I can't do everything for you guys, okay? I can't. You're alpha. You run with the pack. Your alpha teaches you, but you soon enough you will graze off and form your own pack. That's what I do for you guys. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my take on this spoiler-heavy Spider-Man Far From Home movie. The action was good. The pacing was good. Tom Holland, you did your thing. The surprise of J.K. Simmons returning as JJ, great. And could this mean more for the future? Could we see other people return as characters they played? A lot of people say they want to see Willem Dafoe return as Norman Osborn. I wouldn't mind, but I want that Norman Osborn hairstyle, for God's sakes. It's not hard to do. It's the little things. But what say you guys? Did you enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home? Did you like it? If you didn't, tell your alpha. I'm not gonna bite your head off. I'm lying. No, I'm not lying. Don't listen to him. I won't bite your head off. But other than that, guys, y'all take care.